come travel with me to Seattle to see Stray Kids. Let's go. I do think I overpacked for this trip. We are actually so incredibly late. Like, I should have been here like an hour ago. That was a lot. We did not have fun. Okay, made it to Seattle, got my rental car. Let's go drive to my friend's house now. Such a fancy car.
He knows that when he gets his
Thanks. Wow. I don't know what. Wow. Wine sound. Wow.
listen.
Good morning. We're seeing Stray Kids today. Let's go see Stray Kids in Seattle. Okay, so I'm obviously not concert ready. We're going to brunch first, and I just didn't want to wear my concert outfit to brunch. So let's go to Seattle.
Do you remember how, like,
Everybody cheers to Stray Kids.
Let me get my salad situated.
Wait. Oh yeah, move the bottle. Okay, ready? Good work, guys. We did it. We're seeing Stray Kids. Yay! Birthday!
I left mine in the car.
Maybe I may one day I will. Almost. Do you think I can get some Mariners merch while we're here? Oh my god, the stage looks insane. It is super warm. We're right before the show. How are you feeling?
Really good.
I'm really excited.
Really stoked.
It's gonna be fun. Who do you think your bias record is gonna be?
Jisun.
I think mine's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be Jongin after sound check.
Oh, valid.
Because he looked so cute today.
Yeah.
But
I mean, all of them.
valid, close.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like so close to us. It's insane.
It's like right there.
It's right there.
Like right there.
There's no people in front of us, and we have a chair. It's a win. That's how you. Yup. This hat was really hot during sound check, but now the sun's going down, so I feel like it's gonna be fine.
Also, it's her birthday.
Happy birthday. The goal is for someone to say happy birthday. If they don't, it's fine. I'll live, but like, I'm gonna try. I'll update you later.
Feels different because 3 years is of course not a short time. The last time we came, we played at a different venue, but we weren't really sure that we'd get to see the day to perform at such a big venue like this. All our stays, wherever you're from, it doesn't matter how old you are, what you choose to be, like what you do. The fact that we all share one mind and one heart here together, I think that's all that matters. So today, if you had a time that you did not have to think about anything else and just this moment and have fun with us, that's all that matters to us.
Several days later.
Hello, we made it to Los Angeles. What a ride. I haven't been to LA in like a year, and LAX does this like ride share. This is really bad lighting. LAX does this like ride share like parking lot now that you have to take a bus to, and I didn't know that, and so I was a little confused. Looked very much like a tourist, but I made it to my hotel. It's gorgeous. It's only like 2 miles from SoFi, which is great. Also, I'm realizing now that we've done like no YouTube vlogging for this vlog, so I'm gonna change real quick out of this because I don't want to wear this anymore. And then I think I'm gonna order some food. They have Dave's hot chicken here, which like it's like a big thing in North Carolina right now, and I didn't realize LA had it, and it's like actually pretty close to here, and I'm starving. I'm literally so hungry. A couple of egg bites this morning and a coffee, and then I had another coffee and like a small mac and cheese, and that's literally all I've eaten today. So we're gonna order a cauliflower sandwich and fries, and that sounds, and a Diet Coke. I don't know why a Coke Zero sounds so good to me right now. And then I'm gonna change. I need to film some TikToks for today because I haven't posted anything on TikTok today, and I've posted at least like 1 or 2 videos every single day this month, so I need to do that, and I need to finish the TikTok vlog for today. I look so greasy and gross right now, but yeah, I checked in. I'm a Hilton Honors member, which doesn't really mean anything, but I get this water for free. I get these waters for free, so that's fun. But yeah, the hotel's really nice. I am staying here, and then Carrie is also gonna be staying here. She's visiting her sister, so she's gonna come tomorrow. But yeah, I think tomorrow. I don't know. I don't remember right at this moment. I'm so hungry and tired. What a long day. I also flew Alaska Airlines for like the first time in probably like 12 years, and it was an interesting experience. But I feel like if I'm gonna fly Alaskan anywhere, it should be out of Seattle, so it felt right. But yeah, we'll catch up on the Seattle show because I posted a lot on TikTok, but I haven't really recorded much for the YouTube vlog. But let me change real quick and then order some food because it's gonna take like half an hour to get here, and then we'll discuss. Oh, real quick, do you want a hotel room vlog? Or a hotel room, whatever? let's do that. I literally just walked in the door like 10 seconds ago. All right, front door, closet. I do think I'm going to, I don't usually like unpack when I get to a hotel, but I do think I'm going to unpack because I've been living out of suitcases for like over a week now, and I'm so over it. So I'm definitely gonna like unpack at least like my concert outfits and like things I know I'm gonna be wearing the next couple of days because I'm just tired of digging through suitcases. Bathroom, very nice. Shower. I definitely will be showering tonight. I did wash my hair this morning. I wasn't planning on it, but like, you know. And then we have a little coat rack here. I think this is really cute. This is a very nice touch. I will be hanging my bag on this. And then these are the beds. I think I'm gonna sleep in this one. This is the one I was sitting on earlier, so probably this one. Unless Carrie has a strong opinion about it. I don't think she does. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's like no view. The view is not viewing, but we didn't get this hotel for the view. Yeah, Los Angeles. Los Angeles. There is a mall over there, so like that's nice. I don't know. There was a girl in the elevator when I was walking back who had like Erewhon bags and like Trader Joe's bags, and I was like, did you like go to those places and buy food, or did you like are they nearby? I have no idea. But yeah, these are the waters that I get for free. They're $3 for everyone else. Wow. Hello, welcome to LA day 1 of the Stray Kids DominATE tour, but we're actually gonna go back in time and talk about Seattle before we get into today's events, or like this weekend's events, because I have not talked about Seattle yet, which is really, really bad. So we're actually gonna go talk about Seattle, and then I'm gonna show you clips from the pre-merch I did yesterday, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the LA shows. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so I went to the Seattle show. I did have floor, I had VIP seated. They sent an email about 2 days before saying that VIP GA check-in was at 10 a.m. and then VIP seated check-in was at 12. And I had friends who did VIP GA and then VIP seated on that day. So it was kind of like, you know, we all had to be there fairly early. So we decided to get brunch the morning of, mostly because, well, one, we needed food, and then friends had been texting me and they were like, are we doing anything for your birthday, for Stray Kids weekend? And so I offered, like, I was like, we could do like a dinner like the night before, but everyone got in super late. And honestly, I had such a crazy travel day to Seattle that I was just like, it's fine. Like, I don't really want to go like out to a restaurant or anything. I just want to like, you know, just like be chill. So anyways, so we ended up doing brunch that morning. We met around 10 o'clock. I had the hardest time finding parking in Seattle. I'm awful at parking in cities. Like, I cannot live in a city because I'm awful at parking in cities. Yeah, so I got there. I was literally the last person to show up, which is why there's no intro clip. I had every intention of filming an intro clip for YouTube, and I just didn't get a chance to do it before breakfast. And then after breakfast, we were there for like a while. We had a big breakfast and we all had like caffeine / drinks. I had an espresso martini personally, so I had both technically. Also, why are espresso martinis not considered like a breakfast, like brunch drink like mimosas are? I feel like they're getting there, but I feel like I see them more on dinner menus and breakfast menus. So seeing like it wasn't called an espresso martini, but it was called something else, but I was like, this should be on a breakfast menu because like there's espresso in it. Anyways, moving on. So then we were gonna go to a K-pop store that I had been to before, K-pop Nara in Seattle. It was just like down the street from the venue, and I had my car, but nobody else had a car, so people walked over there, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go find parking, and the line was super long, so we didn't end up going in there because I like called one of my friends and I was like, do y'all like still want to stand in line to like go in this K-pop store? It's so busy. Like, there's literally a line outside of the K-pop store. And they were like, no, we really don't want to do this. So a couple people went back to the Airbnb, and then a couple people I picked up, and we went to the venue itself. I was not wearing my concert fit at this point, by the way. I had my concert fit in my car because I was going to go to Carrie's hotel room and change there, and I didn't really want to wear my concert outfit to brunch, and nobody wore their concert outfit to brunch, I'm pretty sure. I don't really remember, but I don't think anybody did, because everybody had to go and get ready. And so we got in line for check-in, and the line was so long. And the thing with the VIP check-in line is that there was one line for everybody. GA and VIP, like seated, were like the same check-in, which I think was a really stupid move. Personally, I think that they should have separated them, especially if they were told to come at 2 separate times. They did separate us when we got to the very front of the line. Also, somebody who works for the venue came by, or works for Live Nation. I don't even really know who they worked for, but they walked by and they were like, you're gonna have to do a bag check for check-in. We're going inside the venue for check-in. And I was like, okay, this is literally the first time that I've ever done that, and I've been to many a Live Nation concert. like this is not my first Live Nation rodeo, right? I have never been inside. Also, it was a beautiful day. Like, I get it if it was raining, them wanting to bring everybody inside. I had like a little tote bag with freebies in it because I was like, oh, I'll bring my freebies with me to the line for check-in because a lot of people will be there and a lot of people were handing out freebies. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna like hand out all my freebies then, I guess, since we're going inside now. And so we walked around. Carrie held our spot in line, and we walked around because a couple of my friends also had freebies. So we were like, okay, well, let's go hand all these freebies out. I was like, this is a little tote bag. I can fold it up and like stick it in my pocket. Like, it's just the fact that there's a bunch of like freebies in it that I worked really hard on and spent like a lot of money on. And I like want to hand them out. I don't want to like throw them away or anything. After about an hour of standing in this line and like walking around, I was standing like at the very end of the line because we wanted to see like how far the line went. And one of you guys, like a subscriber of mine, came out of line and she was like, oh my God, I saw you like walking while I was in line. And she had like just gotten her VIP stuff. And she was like, I have been here for 3 hours and they were gonna have us check in inside, and then they decided like an hour ago that they weren't going to do that, and they moved the tables outside, and everything's been going so much faster because they don't have to do security on every single person who's walking inside who is not concert ready like at this moment in time. And so once she said that, I was like, well, if the line starts moving faster now that they're not making us go inside and doing security and like bag checks and whatever, then maybe we'll just stay, because we had considered leaving. What if we go get ready and come back closer to like 3 or 4 o'clock? That was a thought that we had for a while. But once that happened and we went back to the line and Carrie had moved significantly in line from where we had been, I was like, okay, maybe let's like give it another like half an hour, see where we're at, and if we're really close, we'll just stay here. If we're not, then we'll just like leave and come back. But we had already been in line for so long, like an hour and a half at this point, and I was like, I don't really want to like give this up, you know? So anyways, we get to the front of the line pretty reasonably time. It's like 1:30 by this point. I think it was 1:30 by the time that we like got all our VIP merch. For that, my friend had actually purchased the tickets, but she transferred the tickets to me pretty much immediately. And from my experience with Live Nation, like my friends still got the VIP email, the one that they were like, you need to sign the waiver saying like you might be photographed or, you know, whatever. Anyway, so she got the email. My friend who like didn't even come to the concert, we just help each other with ticketing all the time, and she helped me with Stray Kids ticketing, and she pulled row 1 seats the day after my birthday, and she was like, here you go, happy birthday. I paid her for them, but like, you know what I mean. So she got the email, but the tickets were under my name because she had transferred the tickets to me back like on ticketing day, like literally right away. Like as soon, I paid her right after ticketing, and she transferred the tickets to me right away. Yeah, so both tickets were under my name because Carrie was trying to check in and she had the other like row 1 ticket that was next to me. And they were both under my name. So I had my friend's ID. I like have it saved because we like help each other with ticketing so much. This is what we got when we checked in. So the first thing I got when I checked in was this VIP Nation reserved wristband. It was different than the GA one. Also, when I got to the front of the line, they like asked what you were, like which pit you were or if you were seated. And so obviously I was like, I'm seated, we're together, like, you know. So anyways, you do need to have like everybody there for your reservation to pick up like VIP stuff. They're not just gonna give you like extra VIP packets, also because they put the wristband on you. And then obviously they give you a lanyard. This is the same lanyard for everybody, even if you were pit or whatever. And they gave me my VIP gift, which is in here. So for the VIP gift, I have literally not taken this out of like the plastic yet, but you get a little pillowcase. So that's cute. And then you get a little eye mask, which fun fact, I actually sleep with an eye mask like every single night because I'm really sensitive to light and like I can't sleep if there's like light coming through a window. So anyways, so I got this. So I'm actually probably gonna use that at some point, which is exciting, especially because I'm gonna get another VIP package like when I go to DC. So I don't feel weird about using it. And then also you get an OT8 set of postcards, which I actually haven't looked at yet. So let's look at those together. I've seen photos of them, but I haven't like, you know. So I'm really excited. I'm excited they give you an OT8 set. So this is the back of all of the postcards. And then this is Seungmin, Linao, Hongin, Hyunjin, Jisung, Felix, Changbin, and Chan. So yeah, super pretty. There's no like group postcard, but I love that they give you a full set of postcards. I wish they were photo cards, but I'm still happy with postcards and they will happily go into my Stray Kids binder. I'm excited to have them. And then the last thing they give you in the VIP package is the set of pens, which I also have not opened yet or like tried or anything, but I think they're cute. I'm gonna add them to like, you know, my little desk area at work. So I'm excited about that. And then once you actually like get inside, they did give me an additional wristband. We'll kind of talk about that in a little bit, but I just wanted to show it like right now. So this is my floor wristband. This just lets the staff on site know that I have a floor ticket, even if I don't have like this on, which like I always keep this on because one time I didn't and people got mad at me, like the staff got mad at me, so I just always wear it now. I posted about that on TikTok and people were like, I wasn't wearing my lanyard, and I was like, I'm not taking chances. I was not gonna take chances, you know. I've been yelled at it like for it before. It was a few years ago at this point, but like I'm just gonna have my VIP lanyard like on me. Like sorry, that's what's gonna happen. So after we check in, they're like, oh, come back at 3:30. We're gonna line everybody up at 3:30. It's 1:30. So Carrie and I are like, okay, we have to go get ready like right now. So we thought about getting merch because there is a separate VIP merch line, but at that point we were like, we're not even ready Like, let's go get ready and then figure out the next step. So we go back to Carrie's hotel. We get ready super, super fast. I filmed like half of a transition that I literally had to like finish on my friend's couch like a couple days after the concert. And then we run back to the venue, find parking. And I had reserved parking the day before. Again, not my first rodeo. I've been to lots of concerts, lots of K-pop concerts as VIP, right? Like, this is not my first rodeo, okay? I've done this many times. And I've shown up early many times before my reservation technically starts, because my reservation started at 4:30. And when I got to the entrance of the parking garage that I had paid for, $60, by the way, I paid $60 for, the guy was like, your reservation doesn't start for like another hour. And I was like, well, can I buy like a singular hour and then my reservation will start in an hour? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, the venue told us to be here at 3:30 when we checked in this morning. And he was like, well, it doesn't open till 4:30. Like, I was like, okay, well, can you refund me? Because he was like, you could buy like an event parking pass. And I was like, I thought that's what I did. So like, I'm not sure what the difference is here with me buying a new like event parking pass, which is the exact same price as what I paid online for this event. I was like, well, can you refund me for my other one if I buy a new one? And he was like, no, you're gonna have to call them. Also, this is Memorial Day weekend, right? Like, it's my birthday weekend, but also Memorial Day. So like, literally a Saturday of a holiday weekend. Like, like nobody's gonna be there to help me, right? And so I was like, but at this point, I'm like, we're running late. Like, we're arguing with this like guy at the whatever parking check-in who's saying that I can't like buy an hour for parking. I can't like where am I gonna go at this point? Like, there's so many cars. There's literally an event that ended at the stadium right next to the stadium we were going to. So there's tons of cars coming out of this parking garage and a lot of people for Stray Kids trying to go into this parking garage, and it's just a mess. So needless to say, I paid $120 for parking for Stray Kids and I'm upset about it. I'm in the process of trying to get that money back, but like, it's not looking good for me because I willingly paid it again. We park, it's 3:45. We walk back over to the venue. I'm like standing in line casually and a staff member is like, you were supposed to be here at 3:30. Because we were like, oh, where does like standings go? And she was like, you were supposed to be here at 3:30. I was like, it's 3:45 also. So like, sorry, I was arguing. We were talking to a parking garage person. We were trying to park our car. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, we're here 15 minutes late. Like, we're not the last people here. This isn't the last time you're going to be asked this question today. So like, what the heck? I literally turned to Carrie. I was like, she was really annoyed by my question of like where we were supposed to go. I just wanted to be in the right spot. Okay. There was a lot going on. It was a very unorganized, like the entire experience felt very unorganized, to be honest. I don't know how it was for San Francisco. Apparently San Francisco was not bad at all from what I've seen. I don't know what LA is like. LA literally starts check-in in like 5 minutes. We'll see. I have some friends doing VIP today, so I'll see like what their experience was like. But so anyways, we get inside, we're like in line. We're talking to stays in line. We're, having a good time. GA gets let in first, which makes sense, right? Because they have to go to their pits and get everybody organized in the pits, and that's going to take a minute. And seated, like, we already know where we're going. We all have seats. It's like not a big deal where we're going. So they're letting us in. It's taking forever. And I'm like, sound check starts at 5 and it's like literally 4:50 and we're not even inside yet. And so when I walk through the scanner, I was wearing, my belt's really far away, but I was wearing a belt, and the belt set this like thing off, which it does. Usually my combat boots or the belt will set off like the thing. And I still continue to wear these things to concerts. Like, it happens every single time. And so they're like, we're going to put you through an additional screening line. And so there's another, like, it probably has like 15 people in front of me, this other line. And I'm like, and so Carrie gets through just fine. And they like grab me and they're like, hey, you need to go through this additional screening. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so close. Like, just let me in. Oh my God. And so Carrie's like panic texting me and I'm like, just go. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll catch up. Like, it's okay. Just like, I don't want us both to miss sound check or whatever. And also, like, I know that they wouldn't start sound check before the majority of the people were inside the venue, but like, there were no more people coming through that general like VIP entrance line. It was just the people in the additional screening. So like, everybody was inside. So I was like, I don't know if they would like hold it back for like 10 people who are in additional screening lines. Also, went through additional screening, no issue. Like, they didn't say a single thing to me. They were like, you're fine, you can go ahead and go. And I was like, okay. So anyways, it's 5:05. The guy scans my ticket. He gives me my floor wristband, puts it on my wrist, and then I go down to the floor. we get there and there's probably like 5 or 10 minutes and then they start sound check. So like we made it in plenty of time. I was like, I just like really don't want to miss like sound check. Like I love sound check. Sound check is one of my favorite VIP benefits ever. I know people are like, oh, it's only 3 songs, kind of waste of time. Like I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And I was not going to miss sound check the day after my birthday for the Stray Kids concert that I had front row seats for. So yeah, my view from my seat was really, really great. It was such a dream. But we couldn't film sound check, so I don't have any like footage from it, but it was hot. It was really warm. And I just remember being like, they're all wearing like hoodies. Like, are they not hot? Lino's literally walking around with like his hood up on his hoodie. And I was like, Lino, are you not like dying of heat right now? Like it's so hot out here, which again was not expected for Seattle. I was wearing this big fluffy hat. I probably already posted like a b-roll of like what my outfit looked like, but I was like wearing this big fluffy hat and that hat was hot. So the hat did make it the majority of the concert, but like in between soundcheck and the actual show, I did take the hat off and I was like, it's like really warm and hot and whatever. Soundcheck ends, they leave, and we go to get in the merch line because we have not gotten merch at all. And I was like, I at least want to get like a Seattle t-shirt, right? And like maybe one other thing, I really wanted the Evil Skazoo. So there's like a line, there's a VIP floor merch booth. And there's also a place to get drinks on the floor, which is great because Carrie was like, I want to go get like a drink. And I was like, I'm going to go stand in the merch line. Like, you know, I'll hold our spot if you want to go like get us something to drink and then we'll just, you know, go from there. And so I stand in the merch line for a while and then we get to the front and I got a couple things from the Seattle show. Just dropped a bunch of stuff on the floor. It's fine. Starting with the Seattle shirt. I've already worn it twice. I love it. I really do love it. But I got the Seattle DominATE shirt. So it just has like the day of the concert, T-Mobile Park. So I got this. And then I also got, which I've also worn this already too. It's a little hairy because I was staying at my friend's house and she has like a really hairy dog. So there's just hair on everything I wore there. But I did get the crew neck as well. So I didn't know what size to get. I got a large. If you don't know, I've lost like 35 pounds this year. And so some things, Carrie just texted me because she's on her way. But yeah, so I got a large. I ended up washing it and it shrank like just the perfect amount. But I like don't really know what size I am in things right now. So I do plan to lose like a little bit more weight as well. Hopefully before like July is kind of my plan, but you know, like whatever. So I wanted to get things that would like fit me like now and then also be like maybe a little baggy because I only want to lose like 10 more pounds at like when I lose those 10 pounds. So anyways, point is I got a large and I was like, this is gonna be so like oversized. The guy was like, do you want medium or large? And I was like, I don't know. So I got the large. It's a little big, but it'll be good for like sleeping. I probably won't like wear it day to day, but like the t-shirt I got in a medium. All of my t-shirts that I got in a medium. So anyways, concert was insane. Let me text Carrie back and then we'll continue talking about that. Okay, so the concert was kind of crazy. When I got my tickets, I was like, I'm kind of far away from like the center of the stage. So I don't know how good my view is gonna be. And honestly, it was pretty good. It was not like super close. I kind of thought the stage was gonna extend a little farther than it did. But there's only so many photos of like concerts at the T-Mobile like Park arena. So I was like, I don't really know like what to expect. I could see the Ticketmaster thing, but like, I don't know. So anyways, it was fine though. We got really, really good seats. It was honestly such an amazing show. And yeah, we were like right next to pit 1. And so for the most part, everything was like at an angle, but honestly, like a lot of the members like came over and like stood in that area and like, but it was still a really great spot. And then towards like the end, they had these carts that they got on and they like went around. So the carts like went right in front of us and they stood there for a little bit because they were getting off like right in front of us. So the carts were there for a while. So the members were there for a while. And then towards the end, the members were getting off stage. I think there was like one specific point where they were like, all right, you're allowed to get off stage. And Hyunjin immediately gets off stage and like runs around the crowd. I love concert Hyunjin. Like it's my favorite Hyunjin because he just loves performing so much. I was actually watching the Skids talk the other day where he was just like, oh, like performing is so like addicting, like I love it so much. And I was like, I can tell, because Hyunjin like loves to stand there, he loves to stare at Stay. There's so many times that I caught him just like looking at everybody and just like taking it all in, and I just like love that so much for him. You can tell that he's just like they're all so grateful, but like Hyunjin especially, I feel like is just so grateful to be there and like to be so loved, and like I hope he knows that he is so incredibly loved. But yeah, so it was really fun. So the members started getting off the stage and like walking around towards the pit area, and then all of a sudden like Chen comes around the corner and he's like high-fiving everybody, and so I'm like, oh my god. So Chen comes by and he high-fives everybody, and then like he gets to the end of like our row and somebody tries to give him something and he's just like, no, like I can't take anything, I can't, like I'm sorry, like thank you, I can't take anything. And then he like walks by and we're all like yelling like, oh my god, Chen, we love you, and he's like walking by and like waving or whatever. So he leaves and goes back like on the stage, and then a couple minutes later, Changbin comes around the corner, does the exact same thing. He just like runs down, like high-fiving everybody. Like he was so cute, and I was like, I cannot believe that that literally just happened. Like it was literally the last, like second to last song of the concert, and it just felt so crazy because it was just like our section, we didn't get like too many interactions from members like in the beginning of the show. So the second half of the show, we did get a lot more like members coming up and like waving to our section and like things. So yeah, it was actually insane that like that just happened, that we had like high-fived them, and that I like was not expecting for that to happen. It was just very different from the Maniac tour in the sense that like Maniac tour, I went to the Atlanta shows, and if you know anything about the Maniac tour, when they went to Atlanta, they got COVID. Like 3 or 4 of the members got COVID. I don't remember exactly which members had COVID, but 3 or 4 of the members had COVID. So they canceled the Atlanta stop. And then I think there was like one other stop they canceled. So they did Maniac Encore, where they came back and like went to the stop. So they couldn't go because of COVID. And they were very cautious. They were not like high-fiving anyone. They were not getting off stage. They were not doing it. They stayed on the stage. They did not touch anybody. They just like were very like cautious about that, which like rightfully so, right? So that happened, and the concert ends, and it takes us forever to get out of there. Also, I'm still like living on the high of like, I just touched like Chan and Changbin's hands. Also, okay, so Chan's hand, if you've ever wanted to know, Chan's hand was very soft, but Changbin's was like really rough. Like literally, it felt like he was like a bodybuilder. Like Changbin's hand was like full of like calluses. It was so like tough and like muscle, like bodybuilder like hands, if you know what I'm talking about. So in case you ever wanted to know that, there's that information. But yeah, so that was really fun, and that was pretty much the Seattle show. It took us forever to get out of there. I got back to my friend's house at literally like 1 a.m. She was pissed. I got back to my friend's house at 1 a.m, and I was like, I like had no idea how long it was gonna take me to get out of there. But yeah, so that was really fun. I had a great time. I was in Seattle for a couple extra days because it was my birthday, it was my best friend's birthday. We did a couple of other things while I was there, and I flew to Los Angeles, what's today, Saturday? I flew to Los Angeles on Thursday, so I've been here for 2 days now. Yesterday, I went to pre-merch, so let me show you the pre-merch footage now. Good morning. We never talked about Seattle, though I probably inserted that clip before this clip. It's the next day. I am going to pre-merch for Stray Kids for LA because I don't want to have to deal with merch this weekend, so I wanted to just get it over with today. I'm going over super early. It doesn't open till 12, but people were lining up like beforehand, and this is the first stop of the tour that they're doing pre-merch for 2 days. So they're doing both LA pre-merch days today. So I feel like the line's gonna be kind of long, especially because it's SoFi. So like it's a really huge venue. And I don't have anything to do this morning. So I was like, I might as well go over there, and like, I'm gonna end up having to stand in line for a couple hours anyway. So I might as well go like in the morning when I don't have anything else going on, and like, just get that done. Last night I did do my LA Day 1 freebies. I did those. So we will come back and do LA Day 2 this afternoon probably. But I did all the LA Day 1 ones. I have like extra tickets and like not enough photo cards. I don't know where my counting went wrong for all of that, or whose count. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but we do have extra tickets. We don't have extra photo cards, which is weird. Just extra tickets. And I don't have extra bags. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, but I did, we're not skipping breakfast, but I'm just bringing breakfast from the hotel. So I had a protein bar, and then I'm just bringing a water bottle. This has a cherry slush Alani like energy drink packet in it, so it's a cherry slush Alani essentially. And yeah, we're gonna go to merch. I feel silly, but I also feel like I'm not gonna be the only one there. The venue is only like 15 minutes from my hotel, so I'm like not that worried about it, like the Uber and everything. But yeah, this is what I'm wearing today. Also, I was gonna wear sneakers, but they looked stupid with these pants. I thrifted these pants back when I saw Espa. Like, I have not worn these pants until this trip, and I'm like kind of obsessed with them. But like, this is literally the first trip. I wore these pants in Seattle as well. I did laundry in Seattle at my friend's house. So everything I own is clean now because I did all my laundry there. But yeah, I kind of love these pants. I thrifted them for like literally $8 and I'm really obsessed with them. I love them so much. So anyways, for the rest of today, we're gonna do our freebies. I'm gonna do some more filming when I get back. And I don't know, today was just gonna be like a chill day in my books. I might go hang out with my friend and her friends later. I haven't decided yet. I'm just gonna kind of see like how the day goes. But yeah, if I end up just having a chill night here, it's fine because the next 2 days are gonna be crazy. So having like a chiller day would honestly be fine. I would like to reapply my self-tan because it has pretty much like faded off of my body at this point. So I honestly would be perfectly happy just like sitting in self-tanner for like a lot of today. I did bring my self-tanner with me, as crazy as that sounds. I'm gonna feel really stupid if I get there and there's like 4 people there. I don't think that's gonna be the case though. Like just the way that this tour has been working, I don't think that's gonna be the case. But let's go ahead and get going. Okay, I just got out of line, just waiting for my Uber, and I spent so much money. So much money. I'll have to update you when I get back to the hotel. I'm also so sunburnt. It's fine, everything's fine, but yeah, it's 2:45. Got out of line after getting my stuff at 2:45. So insane. Okay, so I got back from pre-merch, and let me show you everything I got at pre-merch. I also got super sunburnt. You can't tell because I'm wearing this t-shirt. It's so bad. It does hurt. It hurts a lot, actually. I literally just got burnt like on my shoulders and like my forearms, like literally like both sides of my arm. It just goes down to like right here. So that's fun. Anyways, what I got at pre-merch, I got there around like 9:15. My Uber driver was very confused about where to go. He was like, and then like a security guard told him where to go, and he just like tried to go a different direction, and I was just like, I think you're supposed to go in there. And I like saw the line. I was like, I think we're supposed to go in there. So anyways, got me there a little later than I thought, but it's okay. So for pre-merch, I stood in line for a long time, so I ended up buying more than I was expecting to. The first thing I ended up buying was the Stray Kids tote bag. This is full of freebies now, but I got the tote bag because I was going to bring freebies, like a couple of freebies in my Maniac tote bag, and I was going to use that tote bag because they don't give you bags, especially not in states where you need to normally pay for bags, which I don't live in a state that you have to pay for bags, so whenever I travel, I'm like not used to doing that. But anyways, they didn't give you a bag, so I bought the bag, and obviously I'm putting it to good use. I also ended up getting just like a general tour shirt. I wanted to get one at some point, even though I'm getting like the stop specific ones. So I just got the black one. I wear these all the time. If you like watch any of my TikToks, I'm like always wearing a tour shirt. So I also have been having a crisis this entire tour about the basketball versus baseball jersey, and obviously I chose the basketball one. I love it. I think it's so cute. So it just says DominATE on the front, and then on the back it says Stray Kids 8, and I wanted it so bad. Like I was trying to decide between, like I wanted this like really bad, and I've wanted this for a while, and then Chan and Lino at the Encore both wore the baseball shirt, and I was like, should I get the baseball shirt? Because Chan and Lino were both wearing it. It felt like a sign, but then like I think Changbin was wearing this one. I can't remember if Jisung was wearing this one because that's like my entire line is 3 Racha plus Lino. So I got that, and then I also got the LA shirt. So front of it is the same. Here's the back of it compared to the Seattle shirt. So it just says Los Angeles, and then it has both days because it's a two-day stop. So it has both days on it. And I also went and got the Evil Skazoo shirts. I was so lucky because Wolf-chan, there were only a couple of like Wolf-chans left. And then I did end up buying a Leebit one size one because there's the one sizes and then these are like the US sizes. So they range from small to 2XL, I think. So yeah, so they only had this one in a small and an extra large when I got up there. So this one is a small. It like fits because again, I don't know what size I am for things. It like fits, but it's like a little tight, but I feel like it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It does fit though. It's not like a normal like t-shirt fit for me, but it's fine. And then I also, because I already bought the Leebit one, I was like, I kind of want to get a second member, and I almost got another Leebit because I was like, well, if I get the one size and it's like, I don't know what size it's gonna be, right? Like if it's really big, like maybe I want to get like a medium for Leebit. And then at the last minute, I decided to get the Puppy M one because I've been eyeing this one. Also, this tour feels very like Seungmin, like living his best life. So I wanted to get something to kind of like commemorate that. So I got the Puppy M one, which is Seungmin's character. And yeah, that's everything I got at pre-merch. Today is LA day one. I am not ready for the concert, obviously. You're lucky I have makeup on. I got up this morning, I took a shower, washed my hair, you know, did the everything shower, and then I am just waiting for Carrie to get here. She said she'll be here. It's like 10:15. She'll be here at 11. I got up super early this morning though. I got up at like 7. I just think that like, because I don't know if it's because I'm like still kind of on East Coast time, which I don't think that's the case. I think I'm just so used to waking up early for work. Like I normally wake up around 6:45, or no, not 6:45. I get to work at 6:45 in the morning. So I'm used to getting up pretty early during the day. So I think maybe my body is just like, no. And like, also I'm just really excited. I went to SoFi yesterday, obviously for pre-merch, and it's just the most beautiful venue. Like I'm just so excited to like be there today. Netflix is hosting an event at the Forum, which is right next to SoFi. So I'm a little worried about traffic this afternoon, but I figured I would discuss with Carrie like when she gets here. But yeah, for now, I think I'm gonna film a couple TikToks. I am planning on wearing my red and black outfit today, which is fun. And then I have my pink and white, like Hyunjin inspired outfit for tomorrow. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get any more merch on this trip, probably. I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what I get. Also, having 3 Skazoo shirts is like really dangerous because like when I have 3, I'm like, I might as well have 8. And they're $50 each, Carolyn. You don't need that. Also, I spent like $350 yesterday. I was not planning on spending that much money, but before everybody's like, Carolyn, that's so irresponsible. I've been saving for this tour since I bought the tickets. I've been saving for merch because I knew I was gonna want a lot of merch. And so I have a little like savings account that I add a little bit every paycheck. And so the money came out of that. It's fine. We're all gonna be okay. It was just more than I was like expecting, but not more than I had like available. It just was like, part of it was for DC as well. So we're just gonna have to replenish it a little bit before I go to DC. But yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody. Be financially responsible. I'm a little interested to see this afternoon what SoFi is like because it's an indoor venue. Apparently they're not doing the fireworks, which was part of the Seattle show. And then they also didn't do the inflatable in San Francisco. For the giant stage, they had an inflatable like giant at the front of the main stage. Apparently they didn't do that in San Francisco, so I don't really know what to expect from this show. That's everything you missed on Glee. I'm gonna film some TikTok now, so I'll see you in a little bit. Here's to Stray Kids. Yay! Prior to entering the stadium. Guests with the GA hit ticket will enter the It's you gotta.
It feels really spectacular, and it's hard to explain how it feels to have a stadium full of people who sing the songs that we made. We didn't expect this many people to like our stuff. And we're all human. We all bleed the same blood. And like, what matters? But the fact that we're all here in this stadium, all sharing one mind, and to be comfortable with each other, I think that's all that matters. And I just wish that, because everyone here is sharing the same the positivity with us. If you guys felt horrible yesterday or the day before, but if you guys can let it out today and feel good and leave the stadium, that's all that matters.
Hi, it's been a long time since the DominATE North American tour ended, and I never filmed I did film a clip for LA, but I don't know where it went. So we're going to talk about LA, and then we're also going to talk about Washington, D.C., because to be honest, so much happened in D.C., and I was just unable to document really any of that day besides the little TikTok vlog I posted. But I do have footage from both days of LA, and then I also have footage from Washington, D.C., so I'm going to kind of incorporate that as we go along. So as we discussed for Los Angeles, I didn't have VIP either day. Did I regret it? A tiny bit, but honestly, our seats were so good for LA. It was just kind of a crazy couple of days. So the first actual concert day, because I think the last time I vlogged, so the first day I went and I met Carrie. Carrie came to the hotel. We were staying in the same hotel for a couple days. I just got there early. She ended up spending some time with family who live in LA. And so, yeah, we met up the morning of the first day of LA, and we decided to walk over to a little shopping center next to our hotel and go get something to eat. We got brunch. We went to this restaurant that, like, now that I've been there, what was it called? Like BJ's or something? The place that sells bazookies. I'd literally never heard of this restaurant before. But apparently it's a chain because I've seen so many videos on this restaurant since I went. But yeah, so we went to this restaurant. We got this brunch. We also got espresso martinis because it was just an espresso martini kind of day, you know? And I feel like in these videos, it looks like I drink a lot. I only drink socially, which is like something I don't talk about that often because it's just not something that comes up on a K-pop channel. But I only drink socially, and so I did consume quite a bit of alcohol during the Stray Kids DominATE tour. I'm not gonna lie, but I only drink socially. So literally since I got home from Washington DC, I have not had alcohol, and that was like long time ago, very long time ago. We had lunch, we went back to the hotel, we got ready, and then because we didn't have VIP, we didn't have to get there super early. So we got an Uber and we got over to the venue at like 3, I want to say, is about when we showed up, or that was our like goal. I think it was more like 3:30. Our Uber dropped us off in a great area right where we needed to be, and then we decided to walk around and hand out freebies. And handing out freebies for like non-VIP was so different for LA because there's just so many more people, because like when you're VIP, you like are with the VIP people pretty much the entire day. Like there really isn't a lot of time when you're VIP to like break away, except for like between sound check and the actual concert. But for the most part, you're there earlier than everybody else. Like you go inside before everybody else goes inside. So like you're really only with the VIP people. Yeah, I was a little nervous to like hand out freebies, but it was crazy. When I tell you, it was literally insane because like we got there and one of our friends who was supposed to have been VIP wasn't allowed to go in for sound check. So she was like, oh, I'm just kind of trying to kill time until I can go inside. So we met up with her. I also wanted to meet up with my friend Jess because she was supposed to have gone to the Seattle stop and then wasn't able to go last minute, but she still ended up going to both days LA. And she was like, I have freebies for you. And I was like, oh my God, I have freebies for you too. So we like wanted to meet up. But went to go find our friend Courtney first, and who was just like wandering around. We were like, hey, come hang out with us. Like we're general like tickets. We're not VIP today. So we're going to hang out until like doors open. Anyways, SoFi also, I love SoFi. I love SoFi. Anyways, so we met her, we were walking around, handing out freebies, and handing out freebies was so funny because like I would see somebody and I'd be like, hey, do you want a freebie? And then like swarms of people would surround me. It was at one point that I had to turn to my friends Carrie and Courtney and I was like, can you guys help me? Because there's just so many people like around me, like handing me freebies and like trying to trade, and there's just a lot happening. So like, yeah. And then my friend Carrie was like, hey, do you mind if I take a couple and look for like baby stays, like children who are here enjoying Stray Kids for the first time? And I was like, yeah, that's an awesome idea. Here, take a handful, like, you know, whatever. And then she ended up getting surrounded too. She like found a baby stay and was like, here's a little freebie. I also had the most adorable stay who came up to me. She had to have been like under 10 years old. I don't know how old she was, but she came up to me and she was just like, like it was so cute. And I was like, do you want to trade freebies? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, who's your favorite member? I don't remember what she said. I wish I had remembered. I feel like it was like one of like, it was like Jisung or Felix, like one of those members. I say that weird, but like one of those two. For some reason I remember giving her like a Truman unit freebie because the units were my freebies along with the tickets, you know? But yeah, it was super fun. We didn't really have time to do a lot of other things, but we did end up finding Jess, getting her freebies. Her freebies were actually sitting right there. But she did end up giving me my freebies. And then I met like the people that she came with, which was like her family and friends. And that was just so fun. And then we went to go line up. And oh my God, the line to get inside was so long. I don't think I realized that. But I also was so happy I did pre-merch because I can't even imagine like wanting, like standing in line for merch during that time because it was just so fun to like walk around, like hang out with my mutuals and like trade freebies with people and everything. So that was super fun. I'm super glad that we got to do that instead of standing in line for merch. So glad that I had done all that the day before. Also, noted, my sunburn hurt really bad that day. It hurt really bad. We ran into the sunscreen brand that Stray Kids were promoting. We ran into those people there and they were like, you guys want some sunscreen? I was like, oh my God, I want sunscreen so bad. Like, I am so sunburnt. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. But yeah, I went for the classic red and black theme on day one of LA because yeah, it just felt like a really fun thing to do. And it was a classic Carolyn K-pop outfit. And you know what? You know what? It was the theme of the tour, so I don't feel bad about it. Concert, we went in. It took us maybe like 30-45 minutes to get inside, and I was worried because when they first put us in line, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna take us so long. But like, SoFi really, like, they really knew what they were doing. SoFi, it obviously was not their first rodeo, whereas in Seattle, it felt like it was their first rodeo. Even for VIP, even for like a lot less people trying to get inside the venue. Generally, there were less people, but just for VIP, it was like a smaller group of people trying to get inside versus like the whatever, thousands, tens of thousands of people trying to get inside for like general door open time frame. Found our seats pretty easily on day one. We had to go down like tons of escalators. I was like, we're going underground. At this point, it does not feel like we are above ground anymore. We were like underground in SoFi is what it felt like. But yeah, it was super fun. We had pretty decent seats this day. Obviously, we had just come from like front row seated in Seattle, but honestly, like we had the best time. We had such a good time. We ended up going to get drinks because SoFi had special drinks for Stray Kids. We got the La 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 lemonade, and both me and Carrie did, and my bartender convinced me to get a double, and my first sip was straight alcohol. It was not what I was expecting. But the thing is, after I had that first sip, the rest of it tasted like lemonade. So I feel like I just got my double shot all in one sip of a straw, and maybe that was not the best choice. But anyways, we also got a snack because it was starving, and we'd eaten at like 11, and by this point it was like 6:30. Also, the bathroom situation was incredible because like I am so used to incredibly long lines for the bathroom, and SoFi just had so many levels and so many entrances and so many like available like places to use the bathroom and get food and things, like especially as somebody who uses a women's bathroom, like I am so used to standing in like lines forever and not being able to just go in, use the bathroom and like leave, whereas the men's rooms are like completely empty all the time. Anyways, so we did all that, we got to our seats, enjoyed the concert. It was super, super fun. We still saw the carts really, really well when they came around. I think that was the day that Chan faced the other direction for the entire time around the carts. And I was just like, Chan, turn around, Chan. But it was still a really great show. Also, like when you're like front row for the main stage, the B stage, you can't really see what's going on. Like you're staring at their backs the whole time. And anything on the extended stage is like their backs are to you for the most part. So like it's something that you choose when you are on that side of the stage. And I know that going into a concert, I knew that when I got my front row seats, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to see anything on the B stage. But when you're in the stands and you're on the other side of the extended stage, you can see everything, which is great. So it felt like we were seeing the show from an entirely different view being up there, which was really, really nice. We were still in the 100th. I think we were like row 7 or 8 or something. I love SoFi. I already said that I love SoFi. It was my first time inside SoFi and I want to go back. I really hope Twice perform there next year. I hope next time Stray Kids come to America, they perform there again because I want to go back to SoFi. I thought it was such a fun venue, such a fun show. The way that they were so organized, everybody was so helpful and friendly. Oh, it was just amazing. Also, I'm trying to think about which day was day one's banner, but I think this was the day one banner, the fan banner for LA. I'm gonna show you both of them, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but I think this was day one. I'll go correct myself. I'll look at my videos and stuff too. But yeah, I still got some really great videos. I feel like I saw a lot of like Seungmin and Lino this day, which I hadn't seen as much of them in Seattle, so that was really, really exciting. And also Chan came down like that that walkway, like the extended stage walkway, a lot. That day we got Item as our encore song, which was really, really fun. It's from the 5 Star album, and it was a really great time. I had a lot of fun singing Item and watching them perform Item. But yeah, we also were worried about the carts. We were like, are the carts gonna be able to make it around in the same like 4 songs? But those carts were hustling, man. Those carts were hustling. We were like, there's no way they're gonna make it all the way around. Getting an Uber afterwards was awful. It really was awful. Also because on day 1 of LA, the venue right next door was doing like the Netflix, like talking about all the Netflix series that were upcoming, including like Squid Games, and like there was a bunch of other things they were promoting at the time. And so that got let out like right before we got let out. It was kind of a mess getting out of there, but we eventually found an Uber. We're able to go home, so that was great. The second day, we got up and we met Carrie's friend for brunch who lives in LA, and that was like the majority of the beginning of that day. We ended up going to the mall afterwards to get something. I don't remember what we ended up getting. I just remember our Uber driver being so awful. Like that Uber driver from brunch, and I didn't even drink at brunch. I had coffee. I had 2 cups of cold brew because, and like everybody else got like a mimosa, and I was like, I'm gonna drink straight cold brew with almond milk because I feel like I'm dying. And we have another concert later. And so anyways, we got in that Uber and I felt so nauseous. Oh my God, I felt so nauseous after that Uber. And we got to the wrong mall, and we like go and get, like, we were still able to get whatever we were looking for at the time. I literally don't even remember. And then we went back to the hotel and got ready. I still felt nauseous up until like right when we got to the venue that day on day 2, which was also around like 3:30, I want to say. This was the other banner for LA. Very cute, very cute. And for day 2, we had a different entrance. We entered more like right at the front, kind of where the merch had been for pre-merch. There also was still that merch tent there, but didn't get any merch again on day 2. We traded a lot of freebies again. It was a lot of fun. I feel like it was a little less crazy. Sometimes I was worried that I wasn't gonna be able to hand all my freebies out before we had to go inside. I also didn't bring a reusable bag on day 2. I brought like a CVS bag. I had gotten something from CVS, like Instacarted to me at one point, and so I had a CVS bag, and so I used that, and then I got rid of the CVS bag afterwards, after I handed all my freebies out. So that was really nice because having a tote bag in there along with like all the freebies I had accumulated was a lot. So anyways, that was really fun. We met up with Jess and her family and friends again, and we also took photos on day 2. We didn't do it on day 1, but on day 2 we had some time and we got in line to take photos. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, it was actually so much fun. I was like, oh, we don't need to do that. We don't need to take photos with the members. And like, it was actually so much fun. Day 2, we were like back at the house. I ended up meeting up with a mutual of mine. They like sold me some photo cards, and they were gonna be at Stray Kids Day 2. And right where we were was right where VIP was able to like go up if they needed to like go to the first floor for any reason. So that was really great. I will say the security guard and I had beef on day 2. We'll get to it, but our seats were like right by the staircase to go downward. If that makes sense, I'll like insert some footage so you kind of know what I'm talking about. I don't know the best way to describe it, but basically there was nobody in front of my seat. So during the carts, people were trying to like get out of their seats, get closer, everything. And the security guard, I had like taken a step down at one point. Security guard was like, you can't do that. And I was like, okay. And I like stepped back up to my seat, was like, okay, I'm just, you know, whatever. And then he was like, you can't be there, like pointing at me. He was like, you can't be there. And I literally stepped to the side. I was like, this is my seat. And I pointed to my seat and he was like, oh. I was like, this is my seat. Where am I supposed to go? Anyway, so then I was a little annoyed about that. But for the rest of the concert, it was great. Oh, it was really sad that it was like the last day of LA because it really felt like the last day of tour for me, which was like so silly because it was literally like the 3rd stop. I had another ticket to Washington, D.C. Like I was like, oh, it's so silly for me to be like sad about it. But in retrospect, like it was my last time seeing the entire concert because LA got the full show and Washington, D.C. did not, which we will discuss in a little bit. But that was LA. The second day we it was a lot easier to get home the second day, which was great because we had to catch flights early the next morning. Oh my God, the next morning was a lot. We won't get into that because some things in my personal life happened that just like made that day so chaotic, and I just felt so nauseous that entire day because I like didn't sleep at all. We got back to the hotel and we had to pack, and oh my God, that purple suitcase, dragging it around with me for 2 weeks. I was so happy when I got home and I could unpack that suitcase. Like, I had it for literally 10 days, and it was me and those 2 suitcases for 11 days. And I had a lot of people ask me why I brought 2 suitcases, and it was because when I landed in Seattle, if my bag had gotten lost, which like happens a lot in CLT, I don't know if you know, but Charlotte Douglas Airport puts bags on the wrong planes frequently, at least with American Airlines. It's happened to me and my family members so much in the past 6 months that I was like, I need a carry-on bag that has everything I need for the Seattle show just in case something happens to my bag. Of course, the one time I prepare, like nothing happened to my bag. Everything arrived in Seattle, like safely. It's also why I air tag my bags every single trip now, because the amount of times that I've had to have bags delivered to me because they were there like 2 hours early and they just didn't put it on the correct plane. They just put it on the wrong plane. But I got home and I DoorDashed a pizza and a salad because I just felt like I needed some vegetables after like the past week and a half of my life. And they forgot my salad. I was so mad about it. I was so upset. And I never complain about food delivery anything, but I did complain to DoorDash that night. I was like, where is my salad? And then my DoorDash driver, like, I tried to call her and she just like hung up on me, and I was like, do you even know the kind of day that I've had? But it was fine. Also, LA-D2 was Hall of Fame, and when they started performing Hall of Fame, I freaked out. I literally freaked out, and I just was so excited because I love that song. It's one of my favorite like B-sides from Stray Kids ever, and it's my favorite B-side from the 5 Star album. Let's talk about DC now. So a week and a half goes by. I have the craziest week and a half of my life, and then suddenly it's time to go to DC again. And we knew DC was going to be hot. I originally was going to wear a jacket because I wanted to like do like the Truman outfit, because Truman was my favorite stage of the entire show. Washington DC. There's been a lot of information online about Washington DC. There were a lot of articles, there were a lot of things about it. I'm going to tell you my experience, both the good and the bad, because overall I had a great time seeing Stray Kids. Let's talk about it. I also was VIP again for Washington DC. I was seated VIP. I was on the left side of the stage, one of the sections that caused the show to be paused at one point. Though it was like a collective like everything, but we'll get into it. It's actually very cold outside. It could be winter. It's not cold outside. It's really hot. Haven't encountered Skids right.
Yeah.
Big Stray Kids Day.
we're the ones who cooked it, but you guys are the ones who spiced it up, right? Thanks to you guys, we're cooked. We are so cooked right now. But what I want to say, just in general, you guys, without you guys, we wouldn't be cooked. So thank you, Stan. Round of applause.
Because you wrote this song. I didn't write this song. You wrote this song. I swear I did not write this song, so I'm pretty sure you wrote this song. No, I want to prepare a love song, but you want to prepare a song. No. It kind of is a love song. Yes.
Come back on, and I was like, yeah. What the heck, guys? So, there was no encore song tonight, which is totally fine, but the show did end up getting canceled because of the heat. As you can see, I look great. But yeah, it was rough out here. It really was. How do I turn this off? I fly to Washington, D.C. I get there the night before the show, and it was really fun. Carrie and I met up with a bunch of other stays at a bar, and we just like talked about Stray Kids and got a drink and hung out, and it was super, super fun. I really like the Washington, D.C. like public transportation because like as someone who lives in a city, which like Charlotte just doesn't have a lot of great public transportation, and Charlotte is just so like oddly spread out. Like uptown is its own thing, and that's like the city. But when you get outside, I don't know, it's just like hard to have real public transportation in Charlotte. That was literally how we got around like the entire weekend, which was fantastic. I stayed at my friend Carrie's house, the one that I went to Seattle and LA with. I stayed at her apartment. And that was great because we didn't have to pay for housing, which was really great. She let me sleep in her living room on an air mattress, and I appreciate that so much. That morning, we woke up and we were like, we don't have to be there super early. And then the more we thought about it, we were like, what if we just like, we had coffee that morning. We were like, what if we just go and like see what the vibes are like? I was like, if we go over there and the line is like stupidly long, we can always just like go get something to eat and then come back and like whatever. So we go over there. It's like a 20-minute subway ride. We get over there and it's like doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty organized. We waited in line for probably like 45 minutes, which sounds like a long time, but in Seattle we waited for like 2.5, 3 hours. So that felt great. It was hot out. We were wearing just like normal like clothes. I think I was wearing this exact shirt, to be honest. Probably this exact outfit. I'm just wearing like biker shorts. So like I was wearing something very like, you know, not my concert outfit. I was like, if I sweat in this, whatever, I'm gonna change later. So we got all of our stuff checked in. I brought some freebies with me. I brought like half of my freebies and I just like walked up and down the line and like handed them out. Carrie also did freebies for the Washington DC show because she had so much fun helping me hand them out in LA, which was super fun. So we both handed out our freebies, about half of them. We were all done with them, got our stuff. We went back on the subway and it was really hot at this point. And we were just like, wow, this is gonna suck later. But we were like, okay, they handled this really well. It was really organized. It was really straightforward. We were in line for a little bit. There were some people in line with us who felt like they were really prepared for the day. And then there were these two girls behind us in line who just were very, very young. And they were just like, oh, we're just gonna go sit somewhere for like the next 4 hours, instead of trying to go back to our hotel and whatever. And we were like, I don't know. I remember us talking about that later and being like, they really should have like gone back to their hotel. I never saw those girls again. I don't know what happened to them. But so we went back to where Carrie lives on the other side of the city, and we got lunch closer to her apartment. We ate a really big lunch. That was like the only thing we ate that day besides ice cream. We'll get to that. but that was like the only thing we ate that day. That I got a burrito and it was incredible. It was so good. And I got a margarita, and then I drank like 4 glasses of water, and then we got back to Carrie's apartment and drank more water, and then got ready for the show really quick. I did some transitions, and those transitions, that is the best this outfit looked, because the second I stepped outside, it was hot, it was humid, it was like sweaty. Like, I feel like people don't understand how hot it was. It was like, and I've been to a lot of really hot venues. Like, I did Chungkyun in Texas last summer. Like August in Texas. I did that, and one of those venues didn't have very good AC. Like, I know what a hot venue is, and I just like drank a lot of liquid IV, had a lot of water that day, had a lot of water the day before. I really thought that I was like prepared. We made the trek back to the subway, and then 20 minutes back over. The subway was air conditioned, which was great. We got over to the venue, we went outside, and the second we went outside, it was awful. Once again, we had VIP, we had sound check, and we were like, okay, well, it's gonna be fine. We're not gonna be out here very long. I had a little bit of freebies left, so we walked up and down, handed out freebies, got rid of that bag. I was like, I want to get merch, but I don't want to stand in the merch line, because I wanted to get the Washington, D.C. shirt, and I was like, maybe I'll get something else, like, we'll see. But we didn't end up doing that before sound check, because I was just worried about the line for the outside of the merch. I was like, if I stand in this line, like, it's gonna be a lot, so we'll just do it when we get inside. Because in Seattle, after sound check, they had a merch booth on the floor, and we were trying to figure out if that was something that happened at every like baseball stadium stop, or every stop in general, or if it was something that we just experienced in Seattle and that was like a weird one-off thing. I don't think it was a weird one-off thing, because there was a merch stand on the floor in Washington, D.C. as well. We stood in line for a really long time to get inside. I had my bangs pulled back, and my hair ties broke. They just like suddenly snapped off my head. So my hair looked kind of crazy because I had curled it, but I had curled it once the bangs were up, so like that it would look cohesive. So my hair looked a little insane. But I was like, it's fine, everything's fine. I'm sweating a lot. I'm already like, whatever, but it's fine. And so we get inside. Oh, I mentioned that like somewhere else. Oh, I mentioned it. I don't remember where I mentioned it, but I mentioned it somewhere else. And a lot of other people were like, yeah, my hair ties just like exploded too. And I was like, I thought it was something because I use those like mini hair ties a lot. I actually went and bought some new ones at CVS literally this morning, because I was thinking about how when I get back from my family vacation, I'm going to LA for KCON, and I wanted to put my hair up again, but I didn't have any more of these little things because I've either lost them or they've like broken. So I thought it was because I just used them a lot that they just like broke, but I think now it was because they just got so overheated that it just like exploded off of my head, which is kind of crazy to think about. We finally get inside. I will say standing outside waiting to get in for sound check was like the worst thing that I experienced that day, because there were so many times that we were just in direct sunlight for like 15-20 minutes. Like, there was nowhere to stand where we were under the shade. You just had to like think about like moving forward. The girls in front of us when we were trying to get inside had gone to both days of New York, which if you don't know, I think New York day 1 was pretty uneventful, but New York day 2, there was like thunderstorms. They had to evacuate the pit a couple times. Sound check was delayed. The show was delayed for like weather reasons. So those girls had to survive that. They brought like water. They had these cooling patches, which I didn't even know those existed until Stray Kids Washington, D.C. But they had like cooling patches all over them. They had like frozen water bottles, not even just water. It was like frozen water. They were doing all these things. They had these huge clear bags with them. They looked like they were ready for war. like they had so much stuff with them. And at one point, one of the girls, because there was 2 of them, one of them was like, I can't wait anymore. And she opens her water bottle and just starts drinking it. And the other girl was like, I really wanted to keep this sealed until I get inside. So she was trying to hold out as long as possible. But I think she ended up opening her water too. But I don't know, because I started getting a little delirious at that point. Anyways, we finally make it to the front and we hear like cheering from the inside. And we're like, there's no way sound check would have started already, right? Like, there's no way. We're like, there's still tons of people out here. Like, there's no way they would have started sound check. And I was like, I think they're just playing music at one point. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're just playing a song. And then like, I heard, I don't even know who it was, but I heard one of the members like say something and I was like, oh my God, they started sound check. Like, sound check is happening right now. Go through, Carrie and I sprint down the hall. Thank God Carrie knew where she was going because she goes to that venue all the time for baseball games, but I had no idea where I was going. I was just following her and we're like running and the staff is like, you guys should not run. You shouldn't run. And we were like, you should have let us inside in time for sound check because we're missing our VIP benefits that we paid for. Like, what the heck? Anyways, the way that our seats were in Washington, D.C. was like Carrie was in front of me and I was like behind her. So we're in two separate rows. But for sound check, we just ended up standing next to each other in the same row. And as soon as we got there, I was like, I'm not supposed to be in this row. But you know what? I'm going to stand there. And nobody around me had an issue with it. Everybody was like, it's fine. Literally, the members were like waving us in as we were going down the stairs. I was like, this is insane. So we only heard 2 sound check songs during sound check, and it was a lot. Also, running after being in the heat for that long was a lot. And so after sound check, I felt generally unwell. And again, I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been to a lot of concerts outside. I've spent a lot of time outside in the heat, in the summer. I'm not from North Carolina, but I've lived here for 9 years. I know what a hot summer is. It is frequently over 100 degrees here during the summer. Like, I thought that I was prepared for this heat. I was not prepared. I had my fan. I didn't even film anything during sound check, even though filming was allowed during DC sound check, but DC sound check was such a mess that I feel like nobody just like, there was no time, like in Seattle, there was time for them to be like, these are the rules of sound check, don't film, blah, blah, blah. But during like DC sound check, people filmed because there was no organization. There were no rules. It was insane. So sound check ends and I see a merch booth and I was like, I'm going to go stand in the merch booth line. So we stand there and they're like, we're not opening until 5:30. It's like 5:15 at this point. Also, we were one of the last people to get inside for sound check because they closed it off like literally 5-10 minutes after we got through. And I didn't realize that at the time. As I saw more posts from people afterwards, I was like, oh my God, like, they didn't let some people in at all for sound check, which I think is just so incredibly insane. Anyways, so Carrie was like, let's get merch. And she went and stood in like the drink line. She was like, I'm going to get us waters and then like whatever. And then she was like, there's cooling rooms here. We're going to go find the cooling rooms and like hang out in there so we can be out of the heat for a little bit. And I was like, perfect. That sounds like a great plan. So waited till the merch opened at 5:30. I didn't realize how long the line had gotten behind me, but I was like the 3rd or 4th person in line at the time. And so I got up there and I got merch. Same as in the Seattle venue, they didn't have all of the merch on the floor, but they had a couple things. So I bought the DominATE DC shirt because had to complete the collection. I had to complete the collection and get all the stops because little did I know. I was like, this has already been a crazy day, but little did I know. Anyways, and then also because my hair looked like awful, I got this hat, which is why in the video I posted right after the show ended early, I'm wearing a hat because my hair looked so awful. I was sweaty, I was gross, my hair ties had literally exploded, my hair was all over the place. So I got a hat, and this hat stayed on my head for the rest of the time. And I don't even wear hats generally, but I feel like this hat doesn't look that bad on me. Oh, I feel like it doesn't look that bad. Anyways, so Stray Kids DominATE hat. That's how I ended up with a hat. Because my hair ties exploded from the heat and I just was like, I can't do this the rest of the day. Anyways, then we went upstairs and I was like, oh, there's no like jerseys, because I was like, maybe I'll get the baseball jersey. I'd gotten the basketball one in LA. I was like, maybe I'll get the baseball jersey, blah, blah. Didn't end up getting the baseball jersey in LA. So in Washington, D.C., we walked by another merch booth, which didn't have that many people at it. And they had the jerseys, and Carrie was like, do you want to go get a jersey? And I was like, I mean, kind of. So I did end up buying the baseball jersey at Washington, D.C., And I'm really excited about it. I was really happy about it at the time, and I felt awful. I felt awful at that point, just mind you. I felt terrible. I also got one of the little Skazoo keychains, and I pulled Bokari. It's on my wallet. I'll take a picture and I'll upload it here. But this is the one I pulled. I put it on my keys. So anyways, that's the one I ended up getting. I did get that. We also found banners because we weren't able to get banners earlier that day, but this was the Washington, D.C. banner, and I thought it was so cute. I followed the fan project before the Washington, D.C. stop, and they had posted their banner. And we were trying to get one when we like got in for VIP like check-in that morning, and they had run out. But when we were walking around, we saw like the main entrance to the Washington, D.C. venue, to Nationals Park, and they had a bunch sitting out there. So we went and grabbed those. And then Carrie was like, oh, they usually have like fans and like cooling rooms over here. So let's go over here. And we walked over there and they were closed, but there was a sign saying like they're on the second floor. You have to go up the elevator by section 107 or whatever it was. I've already talked about this in a TikTok, but we went up the escalator, and at the top of the escalator was the rooms, but it wasn't like labeled or anything, so we didn't really know. We just saw people going in and out of it, and we were like, this can't be right. So we walked down the hall, and a security guard stopped us at the end of the hall because it was like an entrance to like a VIP club or whatever. And we were like, oh, where's the cooling rooms? And the security guard was like, I'm not sure. And he had to ask somebody else. And then they finally sent us to this cooling room. And at this point, I just felt so unwell. I was overstimulated, very hot, very nauseous, like just not living my best life. I was like, I don't even like whatever. So we get into the cooling room. It is packed full of people. It's this tiny little conference room. It probably is the size of my bedroom, but there was like 75 people in there, and we were all close together. I was standing next to this girl, and she was sticky and I was sticky, and we kept bumping into each other, and it was awful. And then they were like, we're gonna open up the room next to us. Anybody who wants to go in there, like go in there. And so Carrie and I were like, let's go in there. And we walk in there, and it's this huge conference room. And we're like, oh my God, this makes so much more sense that they would just open this giant room for this venue full of tens of thousands of people who are standing out in the heat all day. So we were out there. Jess also was at this show, and I saw her post on Instagram saying like, I'm in survival mode. And I was like, girl, come up to the cooling rooms. Like, let me tell you how to get there. So Jess comes up, joins us, and we sit there for the next hour and a half. And after about 45 minutes, I felt like a real person again. Like, I had to sit there for so long to feel like I could do the show. And like, I wasn't to the point of some other people around us who were laying on the ground getting medical attention in the cooling rooms. Around 7 o'clock, like we felt good at this point, right? Like I felt like I had cooled down. I felt like a person again. I just like, oh my God. Anyways, I left and used the restroom at one point, came back, sat in the cooling room for a little longer. At 7 o'clock, we were like, we have to go down. We have to go down. Carrie was like, I'm gonna go use the bathroom one more time. The bathroom line was so incredibly long. Also, bathrooms were not air conditioned. So when I went to use the bathroom when I was in the cooling room, it was hot out there again. We go downstairs, and Carrie's like, we should get something to eat. And the thought of eating like fries or a pretzel, once again, I'm a vegetarian. There's only so much I can like eat at like venues like this, you know? Popcorn, pretzel, like any of that hot food just sounded awful to me. But but I looked around because Carrie was like, oh, I'm gonna use the bathroom, and I like was just standing in line with her, just like because we were going down together. And I was like, oh my God, a Dippin' Dots stand. I was like, I'm gonna go get Dippin' Dots. And I think that's all I said to her. And I just left. I was like, I'm gonna get in the Dippin' Dots line. I got in the Dippin' Dots line. And I texted her, I was like, hey, do you want anything like from the Dippin' Dots stand? And she was like, yes, please get me some chocolate Dippin' Dots. And I was like, I can do that. I haven't had Dippin' Dots in like 10 years, but those Dippin' Dots, they were amazing. They saved my life that day. I'm convinced. Couple of cups of Dippin' Dots. I have no footage, no videos, no photos of the Dippin' Dots because we went down to the stands, down to our seats, and I just sat there in silence and ate my Dippin' Dots for like a good 10 minutes. And I felt great afterwards. I also had my water bottle. I got another water bottle. You know, my fan was still working at that point. So I was like, okay, I got this. I'm good. Stray Kids are going to come out. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be great. The sun's going to go down at some point and it's going to get better. Spoiler alert, when the sun went down, it did not get better. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, so the show starts and I have this, we're on the other side of the stage, which I was really excited about because all of my, videos and seats so far had been like towards the right side of the stage and not the left side of the stage. And I was really excited to see the show from the left side of the stage, which is just a silly thing, but like it was really fun. I was really excited. So I have this video of Jisung and Lino when they first came out. And this is them reacting to the heat. Also, they had the fire still. I don't know why they chose to do the fire still. Fireworks are one thing, but the shooting flames that I could feel from my seat 9 rows back, that was a choice. And they were right on stage with the fire. I know Lino and Jisung were feeling that fire like the second it started popping off. And I was like, I feel so awful for them because they're wearing like a lot more clothing than I am. And they have to dance and sing, and I just have to stand here. Really, I don't even have to stand. I can sit here if I want to, but I didn't really sit. So the show starts. They're like, you know, going through the show, having a great time. Chan keeps making jokes about how hot it is. And at first they're like really like jokes, like, oh, it's so hot out here. You guys are so hot, you know, things like that. But as the night progresses, he's like, it's really hot out here. Like, it's really hot out here. Like, please drink water. Please stay safe. He even said it during sound check. He was like, please go get some water. Like, please hydrate. Just like, take care of yourselves. It's really hot out here. And during the show, he was making jokes, but it slowly became more and more serious where he was like, okay, it's really hot out here. Like, I hope everybody has water. Is everybody okay? Everybody taking care of themselves? Also, my phone started to die, so I put my phone on my portable charger. This is how hot it was. My phone overheated just from being outside and being attached to my portable charger. Like, there are parts of this show that I could not film because I did not have a working phone, which was like fine because I was with a bunch of other people and I was with Carrie and she had a working phone. So if it came down to it, like I was with someone who had a working cell phone. We're all having a good time. People are like really sweaty. People are trying their best to like drink water. There are some points where I just like chose to stand there and like fan myself, and like my fan was a real VIP. It lasted so much longer than I thought it was going to. I am so proud of my little fan. I'm so proud of my little fan that I bought in Texas when I was seeing Changgyun last August, and you know, I'd only used it during that show. I hadn't used it since then. At one point, Chan is like looking into the pit. They're like talking. They were like doing a talking thing. And Chan looks into the pit and he's like, is everybody okay? He was like, we're gonna pause for a second, like something's going on. And we're all like, and it was like on the pit that was like on my side of the seats, you know? So on the left side of the stage, I think it was pit 2 is what that pit was. Because again, there were only pit 1 and pit 2 at this stop. Other stops had 3 pits. This stop only had 2 pits, so keep that in mind. At the extended stage, those were all seated seats. Those were not pits. Everybody is like sweaty. Everybody feels gross. People are sitting down around me a lot more frequently because they don't really have like long videos in between each section. They're really only like a minute or 2, but people were still choosing to sit during that because it was just that hot and that uncomfortable outside. And when the sun went down, I was like, it's still so hot. And I think that's when my brain started to be like, there is no end to the heat. We're going to be stuck in the heat forever, which is unrealistic, right? Like, that's not a real thing. I knew in my brain eventually I would be back somewhere where it was cooler and I wouldn't be out here for the rest of my life, but it just felt so hot again. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I'm still enjoying the show, still watching the boys perform. Chan's like looking into the pit. They did have to like pause it for a second. And then at one point they were like talking and Chan was like, okay, we need to take a second because there's a lot happening around here. And then they were like, does anybody else need any help? And somebody in my seated area suddenly decided that somebody in the seated area needed help. Someone in whatever, I think I was floor 6 was what I was, but somebody in floor 6 was like, oh, this person needs help. And it was like a couple rows in front of us and everyone's just started pointing to them. And so when a couple people start pointing to a person, everybody else is going to start pointing because we think there's a medical emergency. And a staff member ran into our section and there was nobody that needed help. Whatever it was, there was nobody that needed help. And I don't even know what happened during that. I don't know how that started, but all of a sudden somebody needed help and then they didn't need help. We were like, what's happening? And that is when Chan was like, I think we all need a moment. And they just like all walked off stage and they paused the show During that pause on the floor, there were people handing out water in the pits, mostly fans, but there were staff members there. In my section, there were staff members running backstage to get big cases of water. And then stays would grab water and we would pass it back. We were all yelling to each other, who needs water? Does anyone need ice? People had liquid IVs. I got like a cooling patch from somebody. And we sat and we just like kind of took a second. Honestly, by the end of that break, I felt okay because I was thinking about it during the break and I was like, there's so much show left. This is my 4th show. There's so much show left. I know how much show is left. I was like, we're going to be here for another like hour and a half at least. Probably another hour was the most realistic, but I was like, we're going to be here for another hour. And that just felt like so much show. And I was just like, this just feels like a lot of show. But by the end of that, I was like, okay, I feel okay. Like I feel fine. Everybody's fine. Everybody who needed help got help. I will say I'm not going to comment on the rumors going around on what the members did during the show and if a member got sick or not, because I don't think I would want somebody to know. And I saw a lot of people be like, oh my God, so-and-so got sick backstage. And I just don't think that's appropriate. I don't think we should be discussing that. I don't think that, no, don't do that. I didn't see anything personally from any of the members. I just saw them all looking like they were really hot. But you know what? Same. so that's valid, right? Like it was hot outside, okay? And I don't know how they could have been better prepared because I don't think any of us really understood like what we were getting ourselves into until we were all so deep into it that none of us really knew what to do. And yeah, so anyways, after a little bit, they come back and they perform a couple more songs. Chan's like, usually at this point, we would pretend that we're leaving. We're not leaving. It's just going to be the encore. Like, we're going to skip that whole bit of us just talking. And actually, at the time, I was like, that makes sense. Like, that's totally fine. Like, let's move along. Like, let's move on. I got it. But I really wish we could have gotten the little, like, ending, especially because they ended up ending the show early. I really wish we could have gotten like our little ending chat, but I understand. Again, I understand. I was there. I was living through it. I was on the floor. I get it. I was like, it's fine. They perform 2 more songs and then they are like, okay, bye guys, we're leaving, whatever. Going to change for the encore. They pull the carts out. They do the little fan dancing thing where they have the members dancing on one screen and then like little recorded videos, and then they have people from the stands doing videos. Those were great. People were excited. People were feeling good. You could tell the energy was like good again. People were like, oh, this is so fun. Like we're getting to the most exciting part of the show. The energy was really great. People were sitting during this again too. I was very excited to sit again. I stood during the songs that they like came back out and did, but then I sat once I realized it was like the encore and they were doing like the little videos and dancing things, because also I can't dance. So I sat during every single one of those during all 4 shows. I was like, do not choose me. I will not dance well. I don't want to be on that screen. I just want to watch everybody else do it. It's fine. So the carts were out. I was seated right in front of the carts. I saw them pull the carts out. I saw them prepare the venue for the encore. And so after the last thing they do during the song or during the like little encore video thing is they have everybody sing a song. And then at the end of that, the members come back out, they get on the carts, they do Superboard, they go around the venue. And there was like a 5-minute pause and we were all like, you know, we started cheering, chanting. I think a bunch of people started saying Lino's name, which, you know, I love Lino. I was like, I'm gonna do that. I love Lino. But we just like started cheering and chanting. We were like, yeah, come on back out. And that's when they were like, we are canceling the show. I don't even remember exactly what they said because it just was so like sudden. All of a sudden, like they just were like, oh, the show's over. We're ending it early for safety reasons. And I think it's because the energy during the little like fan performance like was so good. Like everybody was so excited. People were doing so well. Like everybody was dancing really well. Like people were excited, clapping, cheering for others stay. And then they were like, oh, the show's canceled. And we were like, oh. And I don't think they used the word cancel, but a lot of people used the word cancel, and a lot of non-DC stays got mad because they were like, it's not canceled. You had most of the show. But for some reason, that was the word that everybody was using, like, at the time. And we were all so heat exhausted, and so, like, you know, that it was a lot. So it ended early. It was not canceled. It ended early. We didn't have any encore song. We didn't have any encore anything. The boys did not come back out and say goodbye, which felt very like, when the first like 5 minutes went by, I was like, oh, they're just delayed. Like, it's fine. 10 minutes go by. It felt like 10 minutes. I don't know. I was so exhausted by that point. It felt like 10 minutes. I was like, something's wrong. I was like, nobody around my section looks bad. Pit 2 looks okay from what I can see of Pit 2. I don't hear, like, the stands over by me look fine. Like, there's nothing, like, no emergency that I can see out. Right after they made the announcement, they turned all the lights on and the staff was like, get out of here. They were like, get out. And everyone's just sitting there in shock because we're just like, what just happened? Like, we were all, like, we thought everything was going to be okay. We thought we were going to be able to make it through the rest of the show. And all of a sudden it was like, get out of here. And we were like, oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's when I made my little video of being like, yeah, we didn't get an encore song, which seemed like weird at the time, but I had planned on doing a TikTok right after the DC show being like, here was your little, because I did a little series on TikTok talking about like the encore songs, and I was like, I'm going to do the DC one right after the DC show while I'm walking out of the venue. And so it made sense for me to be like, yeah, the show just ended. Like it got canceled. Like they canceled encore. They just didn't come back out. So then we were walking out and there were so many more like emergencies that I saw walking out. There were so many people who were collapsed in the stands, collapsed out of their seats. I think knowing that the show had ended, a lot of people had just like reached kind of their limit, and I don't blame them, because I also had similar thoughts sitting in the seats like during the little break where I was like, how are we going to make it through the rest of the show? Like my fan died. That was tough when my fan died. Once my fan died, I was like, I don't really know how we're gonna make it through the rest of the show. Like, to be honest, like it's not looking good. So everybody gets back on public transportation and we go back out, back to Carrie's house. I took a cold shower when I got back to Carrie's house. We also went to go get food at like a Safeway. We like went and got food at Safeway afterwards. And I was like, I need to take a shower before I can like, whatever. I took a cold shower, and while I was taking a cold shower, the boys went on live. It was delicious, whatever I did. Oh, I got pasta salad. Oh, that was so good. I got like a pasta salad. It was delicious. And then we spent the rest of the night watching people post about the DC show who weren't there. And it was a lot, and I did not feel good the next day. I felt so nauseous. I had this big like bowl of veggies and falafel and hummus when I got to the airport, and I had to go to a dinner party that night, and I felt so sick. Like that's why I left DC as early as I did the next day, because I had a dinner party that evening, and I was like, oh, I can do that dinner party on Tuesday. I just have to get back to Charlotte by like 1 o'clock, which I did. I just felt so awful that whole day. And then the next day I went back to work and I felt awful. I felt awful the entire week, honestly. I felt so sick. And even though I didn't like pass out, you know, anything like that, but I did feel symptoms of heat exhaustion that entire week. And yeah, so did I have fun at Stray Kids Washington DC? Absolutely. I had a great time. I thought the boys were amazing. I thought the songs were incredible. I thought that the stage performance was great. After seeing 2 shows inside at SoFi, it was great to be back outside, even though it was hot. It was great to be outside where we get the full fireworks show. We got all the confetti, even the fire. Could have done without the fire, but you know, I mean, it felt crazy that was my last stop too. Like I definitely felt grateful that I had gone to 3 other stops, because I feel so awful for the people who that was their only stop they went to and they didn't go to Chicago afterwards or Toronto. And also like seeing all the stuff that happened in Chicago afterwards, which was all like positive. And it was still hot there, but it seemed like they were more prepared for the heat than DC. It just felt like I'm glad, like I don't even know what it was. Chan said that it was not him, it was the venue. But I just, like the way that he was like texting on Bubble that night, because I'm subscribed to his Bubble, the way he was messaging on Bubble that night being like, what is the water like situation in America? Like why, like just, I could just tell the little gears in his brain were just trying to figure out how this could have been prevented. And I had the gears in my brain doing the same thing, Chan, but I have no idea. I have no idea. As somebody who's gone to so many concerts, who's been to so many concerts in the States, who's been in so many hot venues, I don't know how it could have been prevented. There was no, I don't know. I don't know. People say that the staff should have been better. I think, at least in my section, staff were very helpful during the break. I didn't see them really before the break, but I wasn't really looking for them before the break, you know? So I don't know if people in my section needed help before that. Everyone around me seemed okay, minus people needing to take breaks more and sit down and drink more water and like fan themselves instead of film or yell or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the solution could have been. I like made a couple of videos on TikTok talking about it. I don't know how it could have been prevented. I really don't know. I mean, for starters, getting people in a more timely manner would have been nice. They threw away a lot of water bottles that were like partially filled, a lot of sunscreen. I took a video of it because I was like so shocked by the amount that was outside the venue. I don't know what the solution would have been. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun at Stray Kids Washington, D.C. I hope we still get a Skids Talker for Washington, D.C. because while it was a mess, and I know that the boys were feeling it was a mess, and we all felt it was a mess, we still had a good time, and I'm still glad that I went. I really was thinking about it, and I was like, I can't imagine not going to that show. It just, you know, it was still a really fun show. I still had a great time. The boys did incredible. Like, all things considered, they did incredible, and I don't know how they did it. Like, they're insane. But they sounded so good. They danced so well. They did incredible. Like, they were so good. But we had members like Sungmin and Lino taking their jackets off. Members that never take their jackets off were just like, as soon as they could. I saw Lino a couple times when it wasn't his like time to be dancing like at the front. He would like put his jacket down so his like shoulders were exposed and his arms were exposed, and then he would flip his jacket right back up and like go back and do his dance part. Like, he was just like, they were all just trying to get relief wherever they could. I don't know what the answer is for when Chan was wondering about it. I don't know what the answer is. As an American who's gone to K-pop concerts for 10 years, I don't know what the answer is. It made me sad, but it did make me hopeful that the next time they have a K-pop concert, maybe they'll be more prepared for it. Maybe, I don't know, you know? It's hard to say what the solution for all of that was. This tour overall was just so crazy for just me as a person, because one, when I saw them for Maniac Encore, I was so new to ulting Stray Kids. I was so new to them being an alt group for me. And I just felt like an imposter a little bit, even though I was very much a stay at the time. But I just feel like over the past, like since Maniac Encore to the DominATE tour, like the way I have grown as a stay is so different. I also post way more Stray Kids content than I did a couple years ago. And I feel like this was the first show that when I went to Maniac Encore, I had a couple people say hi to me, but like it wasn't anything like the DominATE tour. Like, so many people came up and talked to me during the DominATE tour who were like, I love your Instagram videos, I love your TikToks. And like, as someone who really just started posting consistently on those apps again, like this year, that just felt so crazy to me. It just felt like, I don't know, I just felt more like a stay this time around, if that makes any sense. So I'm really grateful if you came up and said hi to me. There were people I saw on the train after the DominATE DC show who were like, oh my God. And I was like, are you okay? I'm not okay. What's happening? What just happened there? But it was fun. I feel like I grew a lot as a stay. I appreciate Stray Kids so much. And I just like, at every single show I saw them at, I was just so proud of them. From Washington, D.C., and the mess that was, so the boys handled it so beautifully, to like selling out SoFi 2 nights in a row and just seeing the massive amounts of people, being front row in Seattle and turning around and seeing how many tens of thousands of people were in that venue with me was so crazy. And as someone who's followed Stray Kids from debut, who watched their pre-debut show but only like started ulting them in 2021, it just felt so crazy. It was so crazy. The growth from debut till now has been so crazy. But even since I became a stay, like even since I ulted Stray Kids and started calling myself a stay in 2021 and watching their European tour, that's insane. I am so grateful for all of my friends, because that was another thing on this tour. I had so many people that I was mutuals with, that I'd known from other concerts, that like I had so many friends that I was able to spend time with on this tour, and I'm just so grateful for every single one of them. So happy that I have such an amazing group of people around me when it comes to like standing Stray Kids. I'm so grateful for that, and I hope to expand that circle of people even more in the future. The lighting's getting weird, so I feel like I really need to end this, but that was the DominATE tour. That was my DominATE vlog. And I feel like I'm filming this clip so late, like so long after that trip, but I just really needed time to like process everything that's happened since May 24th. Like, like so much has happened. And I feel like I just really needed time to process like the past 2 months of life. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'm sure it's insanely long and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If by chance any member of Stray Kids is watching this, you did amazing. I hope you know how incredible you are and how much I loved your performance. I got asked recently during like a meeting, and I can't really disclose what that meeting was about, but I got asked recently during a meeting like what I look for in like a K-pop group. And I was like, the number one thing that I feel like really keeps me as like a fan is like a group that knows how to put on a good show. And like they gotta have good music and they gotta know how to put on a great show, and Stray Kids can do both. Their music is so good. There's so many things I love about this group, but they put on a fantastic show. And I feel like even if you're not a stay and you go and see them, you will be blown away by their performance. Like they're just so good. And I can't wait for them to come back. Please come back to North America. Please come back soon. I did a little saving series. I'm working on a saving series. And this lighting, look at this. What the heck? This is how I feel at all times. Just like fluorescent white. I need to get to the beach and tan a little bit. But anyways, I'm starting a little series on my TikTok. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now where I'm saving up for the next Stray Kids tour. It's been a lot of fun so far, so if you're interested in following along on me saving up for the next Stray Kids DominATE tour, or not DominATE tour, the next Stray Kids tour, it won't be called DominATE Encore tour in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have the Bank of America Stadium. It's very large. There's not a lot to do here, I'm gonna be honest. It's a small city, but we have Bank of America Stadium. And it's pretty. It's warm here all the way up until like mid-November. I'm just saying. Anyways, that was fun. I had a good time. Thank you so much for watching again. I'm gonna end this video because I gotta go. But yeah, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye. What is happening over here? Goodbye.